Hi there, everyone. It's Movie Chats with Ant and Rye, and today we are discussing Juror number two, directed by Clint Eastwood, and it's from last year as well. So this is apparently going to be his last movie, they're saying, because he's 94. He was
It's getting old,
93.
yeah.
Yeah, he was 93 when he directed this, so fair play to him. He's made some very, very good movies in the
Yeah,
past.
still got it. So
Yeah, definitely. So let's go. The movie is about young guy Justin. Oh, Justin? Was that his name? Oh my God, I had a mental blank.
I don't know. Let's call him Nicholas Hoult. While I
Nicholas
Google
Holt's
it.
character. Yep. So he's been selected to be
Yeah,
on a jury
Justin.
of
Justin Camp.
just uh, so he's the juror number two. He finds out that it's a possible murder trial that he may have had something to do with himself, with the victim. I actually went in blind with this one. I didn't watch the trailers or anything. Firstly, I didn't actually
Hmm.
know it was directed by Clint Eastwood until I was doing some Googling about it. And then obviously didn't realize that what the premise was going to be, that, you know, uh, Nicholas Holt's character was potentially the cause of this young woman's death in the movie.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
um, did you find that that kind of reveal happened too soon, or was that a good organic way to
Um,
bring it in?
yeah. I don't know. When you were saying that you went in blind, I think that's actually good because I watched a trailer, so it was no surprise for me. I knew that it
Yep,
was what the movie was about. So
yep,
there was no reveal. It was revealed in the trailer. I already went
yeah, of
in and
course,
I
yeah,
knew it. So, but yeah, if I didn't, maybe I would have liked to for that to be brought on a bit differently. To be fair, the setup is very, very contrived. I think there is as much chance for that to happen that you have to win the lotto. So,
yeah,
but once
right,
once you go with it, it's pretty good.
yeah. And then it was such a, I suppose, non-event that he's bumped something, and all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, I remember that day. That was the day." Obviously, because obviously the day had a very significant meaning to him and his wife. But
Yeah.
are you really going to remember such a insignificant moment of your life that well?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was not under the influence, so potentially, but yeah, it's really a lineup of coincidences that is so highly improbable that it will all happen at the same time. It's pouring rain. He stopped by a bar but didn't drink. Hit that girl, thought it was a deer, couldn't see anything, so really thought it was a deer. That girl and the boyfriend had a fight. She decided to walk in the dark, in the pouring rain, on a road which has very, very low visibility. And now that he realizes that maybe it's him, he also can't come forward because he's a recovering alcoholic. And if he does, they're going to think that he was under the influence. He already had some DUIs, so he can't do that. It's like, wow, it's a lot.
It's a lot, right? Yeah, and there's not enough of his backstory either. It's all told like from today, or but you don't know what I was like, what kind of person I was like 4 years ago. Well, if you're doing so many flashbacks of like the night in
Mm.
question, show us what he was like when he was a drunk. Show us what he was like. Just do it because
You know
we
what?
just
I actually like that. I
you
like
like the
that yeah, I like that they didn't go into that and showing too much. They talk about it, even the fact that apparently him and his wife had issues with not conceiving. Apparently, it was stillbirth or miscarriages, depending on where it
yeah.
happened. It was very, very hard on them. Um, I like that. So it focuses really on the story of that girl, Kendall, and the trial. And we just have to think about, okay, who he was 4 years ago and who he is now. So that I didn't mind. I like how a bit more subtle it was, the way it was brought up.
Yeah, I suppose maybe you don't need to see what he was like back then because he's kind of letting you know what he was like back then. And he
Yeah,
does say in the movie, people change and this is who he is now. So I guess that
yeah,
make that that makes more sense. Um, bit of a, I think it gave you good three kind of act breakdown where it's obviously the trial, then it's the deliberation, then it's Toni Collette's character doing the investigation of,
mm,
well, now she thinks that the person that she was up against might just be innocent, and then she's works out that it was Nicholas Hoult that
yeah,
was responsible. Um, I like that. I really like the fact that how it broke it down because it almost gave a 12 Angry Men kind of vibes while they were doing the
mm,
deliberation. I really liked how it showed the mundane aspects of court, the jury selection and how they're asking all the jurors
yeah.
in-depth personal questions and then that deliberation. You don't really get to see that in movies that often. That
It's a good legal drama, and I have to say something about Clint Eastwood. He does drama very well. I think he must be one of the most talented directors to do drama. If you think about Million Dollar Baby or Gran Torino or a lot of that he has done, other directors could make it a bit more boring or mechanical, and it's the way he does it without necessarily like fireworks or anything like that. It makes it
yeah.
uh very gripping.
Yeah, he's not a flashy showman with his
Yeah,
camera work. He's more about character and narrative, and I like that.
yeah, and
Couple of,
acting.
yeah, yeah. Although I did find some of the accents a little bit grating. I
Did
thought
you?
I did, yeah. I thought that because they were obviously, it was a southern setting. I'm not too sure which state it was set in, but Toni Collette did her southern accent.
Yeah,
The judge, Amy Aquino, who I love Amy Aquino and things. She's great. She's a great actress. She did the southern accent as well. It just was just off-putting ever so slightly. Just it took me away from it just a little bit.
yeah. I'm not sure if they pulled it off. It's very funny. I mean, especially Nicholas Hoult is English. Toni Collette, of course, she's Australian. She does
Yep.
an American accent very, very well. But here, yes, she was putting on a Southern accent. I don't think I'm attuned enough to be to really judge was it good or not, but I could hear it. I was like, this is a bit odd.
Um, should we talk about some of the supporting cast? We've got J.K. Simmons in it. We've got Keith the
Yeah.
Sutherland in it. How good was that? That was so cool. Like when he popped up, I was like, I haven't seen him in something in forever. He's a great actor. I love Keith the Sutherland. Thought he was a
Yeah,
little bit. I thought he was a bit underused.
yeah, a bit. Apparently, he wrote to Clint Eastwood to
Yep.
be in like in one of his movies because he's a big fan of his.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how he got in there. So maybe that's why the part was a bit underdeveloped. Like I said,
Yeah.
okay, I put you in, but here, that part.
Yeah, because Clint Eastwood and Donald Sutherland did Space Cowboys together.
There's
So
Cowboys,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, all right, I've got a bit of a gripe on something. I want to see if you picked up on it as well. That the wife changed her opinion, her attitude towards the case halfway through. She always seemed very supporting, and up until like the deliberations kept taking a couple of days, and she's like, "Why don't you just end it? Why don't you just
Mm.
get them to change their thing?" She became almost antagonistic in like just a flick of a light switch. She became completely different. I thought that was a bit jarring.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I thought they were a bit of an odd couple. I didn't really understood their vibe because at the beginning they felt very lovey-dovey and they're about to have a kid, but he has to do that. They seem like simple folks, like from whatever southern state they are in. Uh, and then it goes a bit more, and we found out that they had issues having kids. She's very scared about this pregnancy. She's saying this is the furthest that we have ever been with a pregnancy. We learned that he's a recovering alcoholic, that um, it has caused some issues in the past of their relationship. When she confronts him as well about uh, which road did you take, were you at the bar, did you drink, when she's putting everything together, um, yeah, it was a bit strange. I was like, from the couple that we see at the beginning to the couple that we see towards the end, or as she's piecing everything together, I'm not sure if it made sense or complete sense. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just I just found it. Yeah, you're right. Because obviously at the very beginning, because I went to rewatch some of those scenes, and she's very supportive of like she's like, it sucks that you have to go and be away from me for so long, but I understand and I support it. And then yeah, all of a sudden she's not, and it's just I just I that just it's just one of those things I noticed. I was like, that's just written weirdly. It just
Yeah,
didn't seem organic to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I I agree in a sense. Or she's used of living with an addict as well. Like when she sees the cracks, she knows that the trust needs to almost go out of the window because they can just lie their way through everything to get to covering up their addiction. Or so maybe that was the intent of the
Yeah,
movie, potentially.
potentially. Yeah, it's a good point. Um, all right, the ending. Should we talk about that ending? I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it did well. I thought
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how it was going to go because I was like looking at the time and it's like, geez, there's only like 6 minutes left in it, and they're having they're happy families. How's this going to end? And then, oh, should we spoil it without spoiling it? It was an open it.
Um, it's just
Yeah.
like put a bit like, spoiler alert. Turn off the podcast if you haven't seen it.
So obviously, Toni Collette's district attorney character, she's been investigating. She works out that Nicholas Hoult potentially was the cause of the young woman's death. And then there's a knock at the door, and it's just her standing at the door, and credits roll.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very open-ended, which I liked. I think that's what I think I liked it. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
I actually wish it was slightly more open-ended. Weirdly enough, but it's okay. Like I have, it's a nitpick against the ending. Actually, I thought they could have done way worse if they went into the whole justice is justice things, and he needs to pay, and kind of that. They leave it a bit more ambiguous, which I liked. For me, the scene that really makes it is when they are outside the courthouse sitting on the bench, and they are talking. They are talking about what is justice, they are talking about what is right, and it gives you a lot of things to think about, because he's saying, I'm a father. I'm a good guy, whatever he defines him, like, he defines himself as. Um, and this guy basically is trash. And you won that case, and now it's good for your political career as well. So if you're doing anything, you need to think about the consequences and what is justice and what is right and everything together. Right? Um, and this guy that got condemned apparently is coming from being a low life as well. And he has done a lot of crimes, but he has never been incarcerated for those crimes. So does that make it up for him? Like, for escaping all that he has done in the past, and this time he's going to pay even if he's not guilty? Is that what's right? Is that what is justice? It gives you a bit of things to think about, and I like that. But what I would have liked as the ending, I guess, is for the two of them to just reflect and think about, what am I going to do next? Am I going to live with the guilt and carry on? Am I going to do something because I really believe that this is not right? And somebody who is innocent for a crime shouldn't go to prison for that particular crime. If they let it at that and really let the viewer think about what are they going to do, I would have liked better. Here she knocks on the door, so we know that she's going to go after him. But that's okay. They could have done worse.
They probably it would have been more effective if after that conversation, that's when the credits rolled. Do you reckon that would
Yeah,
have been a bit more? That would have been more effective.
I think so.
Yeah.
It would have been like, clack.
Yep.
Now make your own judgment. Especially, I was looking up some statistics, and depending on what you're looking at, between 1% to 10% of convictions in the American justice system is a wrongful conviction.
Wow.
So
There you
that
go.
also makes you think. I don't think, well, not in America, but that's a dig at the imperfect American judicial system.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think well, one more thing, and it's a nothing comment. It was cool to see Toni Collette and Nicholas Hoult in a movie together again,
I
considering they
know,
played mother and son in About a Boy.
I
That was
know.
cool. I like the
That was
fact that they
cool.
cut- they didn't have too much of them together, because otherwise that would have been just, maybe too much. But yeah, that was
Yeah, a bit weird. That'd been cool if like Hugh Grant was, like
I
the the other lawyer or
I
something.
would have loved to have seen that. It would have been amazing.
Uh, Alrighty, should we go into scoring?
Yeah, we'll get into it. I'm gonna give this a 3.5. I think it was a good movie. Probably not one I'll watch again. Yeah, I think it's a good courtroom legal drama. If you're a fan of anyone who made it, you'll definitely enjoy it.
Yep, I agree. I put a 3.5 out of 5, as well. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good legal drama. It's gripping. The acting is pretty good. Once you pass the contrived setup, I really liked it, and it asks some hard questions as well, which I kind of like. The movie that
Yeah,
makes you think. So yeah, 3.5.
yeah, definitely. Brilliant. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoy and stay tuned for our next episode.
Yeah.
Bye.